But the only times I lived in my van was by choice. In the words of Jerry Jeff Walker, contrary to ordinary, the stuff that I've done on purpose came and just shit up.
Watch you grow to a lady from a silly little girl. Years have passed so quickly. Here we are together, dancing so close tonight. You set my heart a whirl. I've tried to keep my distance and give you room for growing, 'cause there's things that only time can teach that a lady has to learn. But looking in your eyes tonight, I know our hearts are showing. When you pulled me tighter, girl, I felt the fire burn. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just hold me, little lady, at least until this dance is through. Let me dream that you'll be my baby. So long ago we told each other, maybe someday, maybe. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just hold me, little lady. I know my heart would break, learn that you love another. I've waited for so long for the moment to be right. I'd rather go on waiting, hoping someday that we'll be lovers and enjoy the time we have right now and leave alone tonight. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just hold me, little lady, at least until this dance is through. Let me dream that you'll be my baby. So long ago we told each other, maybe someday, maybe. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just hold me, little lady. So don't say yes, but don't say no. Just hold me, little lady.
So, I'm not foolish enough to believe that Tuck came up with all of these himself. I think that some of them were, they've been around a while, but I've been collecting a list for a few years now of Tuckisms. And my friends have helped me contribute to this list of things that Tuck's been heard to say once or twice, or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 times. My favorite of which is, I'm gonna play another one of my songs because I can, and nobody else will. Tuck, I think this proves you wrong.
My first paying gig, I was probably 15 or 16, playing with my shitty rock and roll band. We were a 3-piece rock band without a bass player. We were doing Bad Company and Kiss. And then in the meantime, we'd have to play some polkas in there for the people dancing. But I sang for a couple of weddings and stuff like that. But that was the first stuff. We're talking probably 73 maybe. I graduated in 77.
I first met Tuck in 1985. He was playing with Dan Lincoln as part of Nip and Tuck, and they were playing a local establishment here near where I live. And I remember approaching him on a break and introducing myself and telling him that I was a picker, and he asked if I was also a writer, and I said yes, and he said, well, that he had written those songs, and he just encouraged me to keep writing and putting it out there. And up to that point, I had not played many solo gigs. I'd mostly been part of a band, and was in fact just starting up the band Sundog at that time with Ken Olsen and Jamie Fair. And as it turned out, for the next 2 summers of '86 and maybe early part of '87, we did shows with Nip and Tuck and with Tuck later on different stages across the state, and it was always a great time. So I want to thank Tuck for that and for the inspiration to keep writing, and hope you continue to do well.
Mistakes that he's made, but you know he was a singer, picking nights and sleeping days, and he'd always been a dreamer, dreaming life away. Summer nights memory, boy, you're getting old. Singing songs of sadness is coming from your soul. But you know he was a singer, picking nights and sleeping days, and he'd always been a dreamer, dreaming life away. Soul, but you know he was a singer, picking nights and sleeping days, and he always been a dreamer, dreaming life away. A singer, picking nights and sleeping days, and he'd always been a dreamer, dreaming life away. A singer, picking nights and sleeping days, and he'd always been a dreamer, dreaming life. Sleeping days, and you've always been a dreamer, dreaming life away.
Catch me later. One night I was helping Tuck bring some equipment into the bar during the Harley ride, and he pointed at the heat lamp and he said, "Grab the laser light show." Kind of looked at him, he said, "It's the original laser light show. You plug it in, and it just lays there."
It's not just for breakfast anymore. Right?
And drink it.
I'm so old, I remember when the Dead Sea was just sick.
I quit the rock band and I started doing acoustic strictly in, I think, 76 or 77. It was, I realized that if you had enough of a sound system, why the hell couldn't you try to pump this up, and rather than playing James Taylor, how about doing some Doobie Brothers? And it worked.
One thing for sure is I don't want you to grieve, 'cause it's time for me to leave. Just gather around and sing along and spin for the love song.
Then I started doing the stuff with Joe Chronic, with the Coalition. We took old classic rock songs and did them bluegrass style. And so people recognized almost everything we did. They just never heard it done quite that way. It's the state of the art now, and it was not like I made it up. I just started doing it about the same time that the rest of us did. And no, it's not my fault. I didn't invent it, but it worked really, really well for us.
Howard Guitar Libke telling a story about Tuck Pence. Tuck, how you doing? I remember way back when you and I were playing a gig at a small bar on a Sunday afternoon. They charged $1 to get in, and we drew about 20 people. And after we counted up the tip jar, we walked out of there with $800 between the two of us. I think that goes to show how your fans love you, Tuck. We love you too.
Oh, I was playing 3, 4, or 5 nights a week. I made a living doing it for, there again, I wasn't getting rich. Buying condos in the Bahamas. The first garage I ever had, we rent back.
This could be my last show. Don't know why, I just get that feeling. Don't waste time in the bathroom, me. Borrow time, that old reaper's stealing.
you have any requests, keep them to yourself.
We ain't had this much fun since the hogs ate my little brother.
Tuck Pence, Billy from the Birchwood. You are one of a kind. Your guitar playing is singular. No one plays like Tuck Pence. I miss you, man, and can't wait to hear you again.
Running around to catch up with somebody goes to their knees. Every song is stuck in magic sound. Thank you very much.
Well, when I was about 16, Jamie Fair and I were recording at Bill Rabane's studio, and Tuck and Dan Lincoln were there recording that day. I think Dan was running the sound. Well, then we invited Tuck to come to my parents' boathouse on Lake Tomahawk, and so he got to be good friends with my family as well, my parents.
What year do you think it was that you met Tuck Pence?
Well, had to be late 70s. I'm going to say in the early 80s. Went to see Tuck at the Scott Street Steak and Pub, and he happened to be leaving for the Telluride Music Festival the next morning, and he had an extra ticket, so he asked me to join him. It was an amazing experience. So we're driving to Telluride, Colorado to pick up a motorcycle fender that he put a $10 down payment on some 10 years earlier, I believe. Tuck, my memory is a little foggy, and so if you want to clarify this story at a later date, please do. We got to the small shop that had the fender, and we walked in the front door, and Tuck said to the owner, I don't know if you remember me, but I give you $10 for a Harley Davidson fender about 10 years ago. And the guy says, oh, got it right here. The only way that he would have ever sold it, he had a whole bunch of people try to buy it over the years, but the only way that would ever get sold is if he was dead. So all those years he kept that, sold it to him. It's pretty good. So we continued our journey to Colorado. Soon that once again we can be out in public and get to hear you play and enjoy your great music again. Hope to see you soon.
Tuck, the favorite song I ever heard you play was The Rectum of Ella Fitzgerald.
I've been to 100 yard sales and never bought a yard.
I didn't know there were this many people I hadn't pissed off.
I'd be playing probably 3 nights a week because of my heart. I mean, my heart's all fucked up. But to go from putting on the 60,000 miles a year to putting on 2,000, and when I go back, I'll probably play 1 night a week, 2 nights a week.
What became of Katie, darling, with her pretty red hair? I don't know if I showed her just how much I care. She was all the lady that I could ever hope to hold. Katie, girl, you changed my world and you left your mark on my soul. Well, I met her in the springtime down in the show me state. Fiery little redhead lord, she just stole my heart away. She said she was a singer, and Lord, she didn't lie. Sang a song in me so hard it brought tears to my eyes. What became of Katie, darling, with her pretty red hair? I don't know if I showed her just how much I care. She was all the lady that I could ever salsa. Lord, driving the cowboys wild. Can't believe what a fool I was to walk away from a smile. In my mind I still hear singing, Lord, I must admit, no one's ever loved me just like my little Katie did.
Just to see how things are going to go, because I had surgery a month and a half ago, and they botched that, or so I thought. They said, well, sometimes it takes 2, 3, sometimes even 4 months. And I mean, Jesus, it's just my heart. I mean, there's nothing to get worried about with my heart, and I've had bronchitis since I was born. I've got the 2 factors that are the worst you could possibly have.
Hi, I'm Jim Berg, one of the owners of the Ancient Mariner, which was a bar in Monaco, Wisconsin. And it was 41 years ago in June that Tuck Pence walked into our lives. I was tending bar that day at happy hour, and a great big guy comes in and sits down and orders a Coke. And I was talking to him a little bit, and he asked me if we ran entertainment. I said, we sure do, and we're looking for somebody. And he says, oh, I know 2 guys that would fit this place like a glove. So he got up and left, and didn't think too much of it. About 5 minutes later, he sticks his head in and says, oh man, I just ran into Nip and Tuck out in the parking lot. He says, they got their instruments with them. So the big guy was John Ulrich, and he came and he brought them in, and they went up and set up on the stage, and they played a few songs, and everybody at happy hour loved them, and we loved them, and you could tell right away that they were gonna be good. They knew how to control the crowd too. And Monday nights was theirs. And the whole time we had the bar, about 10 years, there was always some variation of Tuck Pence and other people playing with him that always played in our bar. And he started playing Wednesdays at our bar in 1979, and basically has been doing that in Monaco ever since. I live in Bayfield now, and my kids are all up here, and the Bird clan and Amy and all the other Bayfield people are thinking of you, Tuck, and we hope you are doing well, and we look forward to the day that once again you can be playing up on top of the Bayfield Inn and we can listen to you. Take care.
What about Bob?
It's a well-known fact around these parts that I'm a man on a mission. It's not saving the whales or feeding the poor. Man, we're talking about fishing. I do better than most, and I caught some hogs where I lost my concentration. It's cost me a couple of real big fish and lots of late-night frustration. Cause a girl that sells me minnows is in my dreams at night. It's got nothing to do with chubs or shiners, leeches or the like. I don't know what it is about her, but every night it seems that the girl that sells me minnows is loving me in my dreams. She's a cute little thing, sharp as hell, not too prim or flashy. She knows her way around all the gear. She's more than just a little bit sassy. She doesn't flirt or hit on me or act like a silly little girl. But I do believe that this minnow queen could someday rock my world. Cause the girl that sells me minnows is in my dreams at night. It's got nothing to do with chubs or shatters, leeches or the like. I don't know what it is about her, but every night it seems that the girl that sells me minnows is loving me in my dreams. Yeah, the girl that sells me minnows is holding me, loving me in my dreams. Yay, Elton!
So I think most people realize that there's no higher form of flattery than having a dog named after you. And to that end, here, come here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet Tuck. Can you say hi, Tuck? We had to have some form of flattery for Tuck, and this is him.
That was amazing.
Slicker than deer guts on a doorknob.
It's the most fun you can have together standing up with all your clothes on.
Don't let me drag you down no more. It's the only reason that I'm telling you goodbye.
All right, here I am sitting with presidential candidate Pump Dickinson, who is here to make an announcement.
Pump 2020!
I think she spooked him.
That was very little. Were you here to announce a running mate today?
I think I just did.
Yeah, I think you got to do it again though, because she's filming this time.
It's a true story.
Tuck's going to be the vice presidential nomination.
Tuck is vice president.
Pump Pence 2020.
Got my vote.
I'd vote for that.
We're missing you, Tuck.
When are we going to do something?
Fought battle for you. I thought these were words of motivation. But I'll be damned as
Hello,
every word can
my name is Sarah Wenzel. I have been singing for about 15 years with Tuck. The first time that I ever met him, my dad drove me to sit in on one of his recording sessions where he played the Goodbye song, which Scott and I are going to do for you. He played it on loop over and over until I memorized the words and wrote 2 new verses that never made the album, but you'll get to hear it today. Tuck, we hope that you're all doing really well. God bless you. We love you.
All these chords, all these Tuck Pence songs, and all these chords, Sarah. They're everywhere. These chords.
It's organized chaos.
Tuck says, "Oh, don't worry. It's like a 3-chord song." No, it's not.
No,
Tuck.
it's not.
It's not a 3-chord song. The most terrifying thing about being on stage with Tuck Pence is not knowing what the next chord is.
Oh,
gonna be.
I know.
Bad one like that.
Yep. That's not the one.
That's not the chord. That's not what you were. These are not the chords you were looking for. Stood and watched you sleeping like an angel, broken hearted that my time in heaven's through. But hold this memory in my heart forever, though I'd rather spend forever holding you.
Your life was a dream when I met you. It's become a nightmare since I've been by your side. My conscience won't let me drag you down no more. It's the only reason that I'm telling you goodbye. They say love is all you need, but they're wrong. You can't live on dreams and pretty songs. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, writing this goodbye song for you. When I was just a kid, my dad told me, I'm sorry son, but life will go hard on you. Little things just handed out to everyone will be a hard-fought battle for you. And I thought these were words of motivation. I'll be damned as every word came true. This black cloud's been following me all my life. Girl, I just can't bear to see it rain on you. They say love is all you need, but they're wrong. You can't live on dreams and pretty songs. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, writing this goodbye song for you. The times we shared will never be forgotten. Sometimes this life just don't seem fair, and all the little things that used to mean so much mean nothing knowing that you won't be there. This road we've traveled down is filled with twists and turns, and this time I feel we've missed our road. I can't go on letting us hurt ourselves. Can't go on letting you bear my heavy load. They say love is all you need, but they're wrong. You can't live on dreams and pretty songs. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, writing this goodbye song for you. They say love is all you need, but they're wrong. You can't live on dreams and pretty songs. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, writing this goodbye song for you. Darling, it's the hardest thing I hope I'll ever do, writing this last farewell for you.
There we go.
And welcome to Taper John. This is the, what is it for? This is for the Tuckumentary 2020 for Tuck Pence and all the Tuck heads. Hey Janet, you're here. Hey, this is Janet Jane too. So we're gonna put our 2 cents in.
Yes, we are.
And boy, do we have a lot of moments with our 2 cents. We can all be rich,
well,
can't we?
Let me tell you.
Oh, Jesus. Well, Janet, why don't you start off?
What a wonderful experience to get to know other Tuck heads. Wow. And I got to know of Tuck and his music through, of course, at the time, my boyfriend, didn't actually intermix with anybody in the audience, but the people that come to Tuck's performances are like what you would most likely see, if I may say, if you're a deadhead. You see the same people over and over. The following is, it's always there. And that's wonderful for the musician, wonderful for the artist, and it's very rewarding. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it because the music is just awesome. When at the end of all of Tuck's performances, he sings a cappella song, and I get goosebumps. Just talking about it now, I get goosebumps. I unfortunately can't remember the name of the song, and I apologize for that, but it's wonderful. You can hear it anywhere. He sings it with such feeling. So thank you, Tuck, for being who you are.
Well, that was sweet, Janet. That was sweet. I had to turn your microphone up a little bit, but because I forgot you were way over there. But yeah. And I basically ran into Tuck Pence about 2014 or 2015. I ran across him at Jack Pine Jamboree was my first time. And I think 2015 we actually communicated backstage at Jack Pine. And from a taper's point of view, when I first met him, it was like he knew everybody. And in between songs, it seemed like he always talked and chatted with somebody, and he would make a comment and point at somebody and say, make some kind of a joke. He knows everybody. And it's like, at one point, it's like, well, is this guy going to play or not? About 2 years later, I think I met him and actually played with the Yankee Coalition. And that's when everything fell into place. I actually learned Tuck Pence. I laugh at it. I learned Tuck Pence in reverse. Most people seen him in Yankee Coalition first. I saw Tuck Pence solo first. And that was very unique. Just like what they say about us deadheads, Tuck heads, there is no distinction between the audience and Tuck. Tuck is one of us. He's a fan just as much as he is a musician. And everybody loves him. Doesn't have a bad bone in his body. So, I've been a Tuck head. I had notes, but I think I pretty much just rambled that all off, didn't I, Janet?
I think you did.
Yes, I think the one last year. Other than that, all I have is tall tales of stories I could say, but you know, we'll just leave the rest of that just like Jack Pine, Mole Lake, Woodstock. If you were there, you don't remember. So you really don't have much of a story to tell. But I can say that I drove in a snowstorm 2018. Normally a 45-minute ride one way turned out to be an hour and a half. each way. And that was in Verona, I believe. Packwaukee, that was a small little family, small town picnic. They didn't know what tuck heads meant though.
Or the Group W.
Or the Group W bench.
And the lady, she starts smiling in your ears, like, oh my gosh, you never made the connection.
But yeah, so we drive. I mean, tuck is very popular. We drive pretty much throughout the southwest and northwest of Wisconsin to go see tuck. So pretty much 3/4 of the state popular, you know. So it draws a pretty good crowd. Everybody knows tuck. So congratulations, Tuck, for having a Tuckumentary this year. We love you. Hopefully we'll all see each other by next summer. And
I love to Mary and the Critters.
yes, definitely say hey to Mary and the critters. But enjoy the rest of the documentary. We'll let you get back to some music. Bye now.
Love you.
I have way too much blood in my alcohol stream.
Hey Tuck, the first time I saw you play was last year, but I've known your name since I was 11 years old because you've inspired decades worth of Deerhorn counselors. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you've given us. And it's a cut my eyes out, I've seen everything, man.
I was 12 or 13 years old. Fats and my Uncle Steve took me out to Northway. I got to see Tuck play under a lot of Pink Floyd, and it was beautiful. And ever since then, my family always talked about Tuck. He was very, very well loved in our clan.
Anything you want to say to Tuck?
I hope everything's going well, buddy.
Hey all. My name's Bernie Thompson. I live in Hazelhurst, Wisconsin, just down the road from Tuck and Mary. It's a pretty cool thing they're putting together, this Tuck Pence tribute. Tuck certainly got a special place in my heart, and I look forward to seeing the show when it's done. First time I ever saw Tuck, he was playing a show at S.A. Loons in Woodruff. 1994, I think it was. He was playing with a full band. I moved up to Minocqua area in 94 and had a mutual friend, Terry Strutz, who invited me to come down and listen to Tuck and his band. So just a great night. I guess I was on my way to becoming a Tuck head. I started to see his solo shows quite often, a lot of them in the Minocqua area, Wednesday nights at the Belle Isle in Minocqua, the 90s, late 90s. I think then the Wednesdays ended up at the Thirsty Whale. Eventually LBJ, awesome place, all cool places. A lot of fun Wednesdays. A lot of Thursday mornings I was dragging butt at work, I'll have to say that, but worth every minute of it. I always enjoyed talking with Tuck, trading fishing stories, picking his brain about music. I'd never seen a guy who could go up on stage by himself with just a guitar and put out the music he did with such energy and passion. I also play guitar and was working on singing, so to say the least. I was and still am in awe of his talent, energy, and his heart.
The first two strokes that I had, I thought somebody had spiked my drink, because that's what it felt like. It was like all of a sudden, boom, I'm just out of control. And they never took me out. But I was, and Mary had to pull me off stage. It's like, no, I of course, me, stubborn fucking hillbilly, I can work my way through this. I'm gonna work my way through this, and then, no, you're not.
On the lines of music, I guess another evening I would always remember is eventually I started to try to do a solo gig myself. which was a huge undertaking and another story in itself. And Tuck obviously encouraged me along the way. And one night I was playing a show, I think back in about 2014 at Little Brown Jug, and who but walks in and sits down to listen but Tuck himself. And I think I never really sat and played and had Tuck listen to me. And to say the least, yeah, that was kind of a humbling experience. And he had finished up a show early and just stopped in, and I admire listening to him so much. So I stuttered and sputtered a little bit, but not too bad, and we went on with the evening. But just one of those moments you always kind of remember.
I know the look and the tone of voice, and it's like, okay, I got something going. And I thought somebody had slipped me something. But then it happened 2 other times. So I've had 4 of these mini strokes. I lost a step or 2, but nothing bad. I mean, like, they didn't put me down. They didn't knock me on the ground. I never went unconscious or anything. But I finally decided I should probably seek some professional help here.
In recent history here, just last fall, 2019, September 2019, I had the pleasure of traveling to upstate New York with Tuck. We had the good fortune of being able to, with the help of a very good friend of ours, attend a Steve Earle songwriting workshop called Camp Copperhead. Really a neat event in upstate beautiful New York. It was a great camp. One of the highlights of the camp was Steve Earle had an afternoon session that he personally taught. He took random songs written by songwriters attending the camp, broke them down, commented, critiqued, offered suggestions as to how the song could be improved. Somewhere near the end of the session, pulled up Tuck's song on a big screen. Don't Say Yes was the song.
I went out to New York and went to Steve Earle's songwriting camp. And Steve was just wiped. So, I mean, except for the classes and to see him at the meals, there wasn't any real time to interact with him. Except during the classes, we did the thing about, where you could send in lyric sheet. And I did Don't Say Yes.
Compliment. There was some really good songwriters in that classroom. And Steve went through a number of their songs, spent quite a bit of time talking about what he liked, didn't like, suggested things that maybe he would do to change them up a little bit to improve the songs. He read the lyrics for the first time. He'd never heard the song or read the lyrics. Then he asked Tuck if he could play and sing the song for him in the class. So Tuck picked up the guitar, and Tuck did what he does and ran through the song. And Steve kind of looked at him, and I think the words he quoted were, "I don't think I would change a single thing about this great song and a great melody."
Let me dream. Don't say yes and don't say no, just hold me, little lady.
I don't have a single thing I would do different about this. It's a great melody.
And I'm just going, wow, that was pretty fucking cool. That was probably one of the coolest things that I've done.
I'm certainly looking forward to more adventures with Tuck in the future, and I feel truly blessed to be able to enjoy his music and friendship. And so, thanks, Tuck.
You're asking me the question that I hope would never come. Why don't I settle down and quit this crazy guitar picking life from town to town? I can tell from the sound of your voice, once again I'm forced to make the choice. And I'm finding out again, it's so hard to find a friend who can love me for being just what I am. You're telling me you can't keep living on this dream that's been pulling me along. Life's too short and sweet for you to spend chasing some old song. But girl, if I could only make you feel this burning in my soul, you know it's real. For the love of a song that keeps me going on, it's gotta be a place that I can't lose. For the love of a song, I spend long, lonely summer nights just listening, trying to learn the secrets of the darkness and the starlights and whispering. For the love of a song that mends broken hearts, you need just two. Before the curtain falls, I look back upon it all, do it over for the love of a song. I should have known from the start I'd never find a woman who would go along with playing second fiddle to this guitar and the dream of that big song. So I'll just go on my way alone, this old guitar and my tunes will keep me strong. Before the curtain falls, I'll look back upon it all, do it over for the love of a song. For the love of a song, I'll spend long, lonely summer nights just listening, trying to learn the secrets of the darkness and the starlights for wisdom. For the love of a song, it makes me what I am. Now it makes me lonesome for a time. Before I turn to go, let the record clearly show, thick and thin and lonely, the high times and the low. Held my head up high and stood my ground, and I've lived for the love of a song. Always playing for the love of a song. The love of a song. And thanks for the song, Tuck.
If they ask for your driver's license, I forgot what I was supposed to say because I'm not looking at my... If they ask to see your driver's license, ask to shoot their gun.
I have an irregular heartbeat, and well, it kind of goes into, it's not technically a stroke, like where you get a blood clot go to your head, but it has the same effect. My heart will just, and I can't feel this when it happens. My heart will start to flutter, and it's beating like hell, but it's not pumping any blood. Oh yeah, as it turns out, that's not good.
Hey Tuck, this is Owen Ikens here. I met you at Camp Copperhead this past year, and I just wanted to let you know that your songs just blew me away. A whole bunch of them that you played that week. And I wish that more of them were recorded so that I could remember all the rest of them. But one that really hit me was Dear Mom, and I've listened to that song a million times and tried to learn it here and just do a little broken down rendition of it. So anyway, I just wanted to send you a message. I hope you start feeling better, and love your music, and look forward to hearing you again when that's allowed, I guess, when we're playing out and when you're feeling better. So this is just my little ode to Dear Mom. I think it's a great song, and I hope that you are feeling better. Cheers. Dear Mom, I just had to write this letter. I know it's been too long. I know how much you worry. Oh, this time that I've been gone. Dear Mom, I think I found her. She says she loves me too. She swears she'll take care of me just the way you used to do. And no, I've not forgotten how you've helped me to get here. For all the nights you worried, well, I wondered all these years. And I'll not forget your prayers, that somehow I'd make it through. So many times an angel's reach has saved me from certain doom. Dear Mom, I have to tell you, do my best to be true. We both know there's no way on earth she'll ever take the place of you. Dear Mom, one more thing and I'll let you go. But I need to know you feel it's right. 'Cause Mom, I'm sure that she's the one, and I'm making her my wife. And no, I've not forgotten how you helped me to get here. Oh, all the nights you've worried, well, I wondered all these years. And I'll not forget your prayers, somehow I'd make it through. So many times an angel's reach has saved me from certain doom. Dear Mom, little prayers for so many years. Dear Mom, little prayers and so many tears. Dear Mom, little prayers have not been in vain. Dear Mom, little prayers were answered today. Dear Mom. Hope you're feeling better, Tuck. Cheers from New York, brother.
Never trust your tuner. They're always full of shit.
She rode him like a bad Shetland pony.
Hi, my name's Melissa. I can't even say my own name, that's funny. I have 2 stories to tell you about Tuck. And I'm going to try and tell you in as quick a time as possible. I am not real good at this recording thing, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think about 2014 my husband got hurt really bad, and he was in the intensive care in Marshfield. Well, they moved him to a regular room after about 6 weeks, and he kept on pulling out his IVs and his feeding tubes and all this and that and the other thing. Well, they needed to get new IVs in him and everything, but he was not a very happy guy. He was not very responsive. He couldn't talk because he was on a ventilator for so long, so he couldn't communicate so good. Nurses tried to get IVs started, and he was very combative. They couldn't get IVs started. And he's a big guy, so it was tough. So they called in the EMTs that fly the helicopter for the flight to life. Well, they weren't having much luck either, and those guys can generally start IVs under any conditions. Well, they were about to give up when I remembered I had a little CD player in his room, and I put Dreamin' Life Away CD on. And I just went up by Ron's head and I said, just listen to Tuck, okay? Just listen to him sing to you and relax. Well, I didn't know if it was going to do any good or not, but about halfway through Katie Darlin', he started to relax. And he let him put the IV in. Now, putting an IV in Ron's arm under perfect conditions is hard. But when he's fighting, it's even harder. But he just laid there and let him do it. And the nurses and the EMTs were like, wow, you're really good with him. And I said, that ain't me. It's the man singing that's doing the magic. So if you've got anybody to thank, it's Tuck Pence. He's the one that calmed down this crabby old goat and settled him down. It's been so many years ago, but I still get emotional about it. Thanks, Tuck.
They went up through my femoral artery with a laser, and they couldn't get up the left side where they wanted to go, so they had to go up to the right side. And then they used this laser to heat up the timing portion of my heart. And when they did that, they were supposed to put in a fucking pacemaker or a defibrillator.
I have another story. Yes, still about Ron and Tuck. I guess I got a lot of them, but anyway, a couple years later, Ron fell again. Another traumatic brain injury, and this time he was really bad. He was all but in a coma. He could breathe on his own, but he couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, he couldn't feed himself, nothing. And they kept telling me that they were going to transfer him to the Veterans Home in King, and it was going to cost all this money to stay there, and I was going to have to start selling off everything because it was going to cost $5,000 a month. Anyway, I had this big meeting with the doctors and the heads of all departments and everything, and they were telling me that he's never going to be anything except this unresponsive shell. Well, I told them, yeah, okay, you have your $100,000s of dollars education, but you don't know him. I do. So I went back to his room and said, come on, somewhere in there. I know you're in there somewhere. You got to come out. You got to come out. You can't just lay there inside. You got to come back to me. Well, of course, I got a response. He is very, very stubborn. So I had that same CD player. This time I had a new CD. I had the American Relic. And I put it on the CD player. Sat down in the chair next to him. Sat in the chair next to his bed, held his hand. Listened to Tuck sing. I just sat there listening to music. Nurses came in, shaking their heads, because this was pretty much the last day that we were going to be in the hospital and they were going to ship him out. Well, I kind of started to doze off, and I think it was the fifth song. Anybody that knows that CD knows what the fifth song is. Anyway, it was the fifth song, and all of a sudden I heard this off-tune voice singing something to the effect of, "If the steelheads ain't biting, I just as soon sleep." It was Ron. He was singing along. Didn't know if I should laugh, if I should cry, if I should jump around or call the nurse or the doctor, so I did it all at once. Oh man, they came in and he was still singing away, and I'm not going to say he jumped up and could walk and could talk and could feed himself. No, but it was the beginning. It was the beginning of his recovery, and you did it again, Tuck. You saved him. It was your music again. It saved that old goat. Your magic. Your magic and your music is magic. And I'll always be grateful for that. Always love you. Thank you.
He was born in a cabin on the south side of Adams. Spent his whole youth in the flat sandy wastes. In the sandburs neath the jack pines, he aged like a cheap wine. Few were his pleasures and poor were his tastes. Now the day he turned 20, he was thinking about plenty. He'd failed sophomore English 4 years in a row. So he bought him a 12-pack and he never did look back. To the jack pines he staggered, what a tough way to go. In a jack pine savage's life, where he don't need much money and he don't need no wife. He's got a chainsaw and a 56 Jeep, and if the walleyes ain't biting, he'd just as soon sleep. He don't cut in the rain or when he's in pain, or when he gets drunk, which is quite frequently. But he never gets bored, 'cause he's paid by the cord. He said it's fun making money just for killing a tree. In a jack pine savage's life, where he don't need much money and he don't need no wife. He's got a chainsaw and a 56 Jeep, and if the smallies ain't biting, he'd just as soon sleep. Now he fishes most days in a PBR haze. He fires up the saw to buy gas bait and beer. He eats what he kills, pays most of his bills. He don't think nothing about it, he's just glad to be here. In this jack pine savage's life, where he don't need much money and he don't need no wife. He's got a chainsaw and a 56 Jeep, and if the muskies ain't biting, he'd just as soon sleep. It's a jack pine savage's life. I don't need much money, hell, I don't need no wife. I got my chainsaw, this old 56 Jeep, and if the steelhead ain't biting, I'd just as soon sleep. If the steelhead ain't biting, I'd just as soon sleep. Come home from fishing, I hear pots and pans, glasses and dishes, and they're being slammed. Kids are hiding in their room. Looks like I got home soon. Somebody's ass is in a jam. So I say, honey, what's going on? She bites my head clean off and tells me nothing's wrong. It's becoming clear to see this has got to do with me. Time for me to use my plan. Go in the bedroom and pick up the phone. Make arrangements for us to be alone. Drop the kids off with Aunt Kate. This is something that won't wait. We've just gotta get away. We don't have money.
I knew Tommy when he was shitting green and wiping it on his face, liking it.
This is a song by a dead guy.
Well, I wake up and there's nothing, nowhere. And of course, the doctor came out and talked to me when I was all kinds of fucked up, and he thought it was a success. They now, here last week when I talked to him and the other specialist I see, they changed medications again on me because they seem to think that with these medications it will get my heart going in the right direction without having to do a different surgery, which I'm all for, but god damn it.
Yeah, I got some Tuck Pence guitar picks. I keep a little collection of them. I'll be playing with them, and I'll see one on the floor at the end of the night, and sometimes he drops a lot of them, and other times he won't, but it's just one of those things happens to everybody that hits wrong or something just goes flying, slippery fingers, night full of playing, that type of thing,
Yay.
But yeah, so I have a little collection of these Tuck Pence picks, and they're just the tiniest little jazz picks, like just a little teardrop. He gets those really wore down.
Oh, that's awesome.
Come home from fishing, I hear pots and pans, glasses and dishes, and they're being slammed. Kids are hiding in their room. Looks like I got home too soon. Somebody's ass is in a jam. So I say, honey, what's going on? She bites my head clean off and tells me nothing's wrong. It's becoming clear to see this has got to do with me. Time for me to use my plan. Go in the bedroom and pick up the phone. Make arrangements for us to be alone. Drop the kids off with Aunt Kate. This is something that can't wait. We just gotta get away. We don't have money or even time, but we don't need much for what I got in mind. A little cabin in the woods, I think a hot tub might be good. And I'll hold you in my arms under the covers of the stars. I'll always be the one then you can count on when you want some love and fun. Just a day or two away, time for you and me to play in a lover's getaway. We don't have money or even time, but we don't need much for what I got in mind. A little honeymoon hotel with room service and a bell. I'll bring some more to rub and you'll put bubbles in the tub. I'll always be the one that you can count on when you want some love and done. Just a day or two away, time for you and me to play in a lover's getaway. Hey! Woo. Obviously, I didn't learn how to pick a guitar like Tuck did. We don't have money or even time, but we don't need much for what I got in mind. Close some little backwoods bar, jump in the backseat of our car, and do all the things we did way back when we were crazy kids. I'll always be the one that you can count on when you need some love and done. Just a day or two away, time for you and me to play in a lover's getaway. Something we just got to do, take some time for me and you, take a lover's getaway. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a good time.
Tuck's dad. I wouldn't sign you for $1 million, boy, but I wouldn't trade a plug nickel for you.
Side by side, one to the other.
First time I saw Tuck Pence play would have been in the late 90s at T-Bone's Bar and Grill. Pretty young, probably just 21, 22 maybe. We were new on the scene. Definitely hard-headed little punks trying to find our way. And I remember walking into the bar that night, and right on the corner there he was, standing on top of the bar, playing his guitar. Pretty sure the song was Breathe by Pink Floyd. I was blown away by that song choice, because I didn't think you could get away with pulling off the stuff that wasn't on the radio. Play for people. A lot of bands were out there playing the same Skinner tunes and the same Grand Funk Railroad tunes and the same Rolling Stones. You know, whatever. There wasn't a lot of variety. So to hear somebody doing something like that was really inspiring to me. Started getting me to loosen up on how I felt about playing covers, because at the time we were just some young punks trying to get gigs, trying to fill 3 hours worth of time, 4 hours worth of time with an hour and a half's worth of originals, and really sweating it. We made poor Brad do like 30-minute drum solos twice a night. And then I remember seeing Tuck up there, and he had him on a string, man. And it was really cool because even though he was catering to the audience, this was still, you could tell, a song that was really dear to him. And that really opened my eyes and helped me put the connection there and helped us make our next step in being a live local band in Northwoods, Wisconsin.
And Mary's got me on about a 6-foot leash with a shocking collar attached. There's a whole raft of things I just don't even consider doing. Like most things I want to do. However, no. And I am also smart enough to know she has nothing but my best interests in mind. She's a lot smarter than I am. Well, I've got, you know, I can't do anything. I mean, I've done a couple of those remote things from Kirby's place, and I'm pretty much regaled to that until they come up with a vaccine. I mean, I'm allowed to go to the Lake Tomahawk gas station market. That's the extent of my travels.
Doug Crading here. Talking about Tuck Pence. I'll tell you about Tuck Pence. Tuck Pence has never done a goddamn thing for me. Yeah. You know what he has done? He's made me miserable. That's what he's done. You follow him around, you try and play guitar like that guy, you can't do it, but you're trying, because anybody can stand up there and play chords, but this stuff, try and do that. Oh no, Tuck Pence can do it, why can't you do it? Knocking on the guitar, writing songs about bubbles in the tub and oiling and rubbing and, oh, curse you, Tuck Pence. That's not true. First time I saw Tuck, I was about 21 years old. I was playing in rock and roll bands, late 80s, I guess. And I heard about this guy playing guitar at one of the parks, playing all original music. And Tuck Pence is going to be here. Tuck Pence is going to be here. And I'm like, who the f*** is Tuck Pence, you know? And he started playing, and my head exploded. My head blew up. And in a half an hour, the trajectory of my life, which was going this way, went that way. I'd have never made a nickel with a guitar if it wasn't for Tuck Pence. I fell in love with his songs. Found out he's a pretty good guy. He was always extremely supportive and willing to lend a hand. He's a hell of a songwriter, a hell of a picker. And I owe a lot to Tuck Pence. So Tuck, I love you, brother. I cannot wait to see you again. Take it easy, my friend.
Fleeting last glimpses through the window of a Greyhound. All that's left but memories of just the night before. Knowing that I was a fool to wait too long to love you. Now you're going home and I can't see you anymore. You're leaving for a life that I can't be a part of. Maybe it's for the best we spent some time apart. We both know the time will come when we can be together. Until then your memory is anchored in my heart. So fly, time fly, let the days go racing by. Don't need to feel it weighing on my mind. The hours roll away to another time and day, and I can finally make you mine. Graham gave a little more as it went round the corner. Now you're really gone and there's nothing I can do. Hold on to the memory of having you beside me. Dream about the day when once again I'll be with you. So fly, time fly, let the days go racing by. Don't need to feel him weighing on my mind. The hours roll away to another time and day, and I can finally make you mine. So fly, time fly, let the days go racing by. Don't need to feel him weighing on my mind. Let the hours roll away to another time and day, when I can finally make you mine. When I can finally make you mine. Huh?
Hey Tuck, sure miss you, man. Can't tell you how much fun it's been for me to listen to you play since way back in 1979 when you and the Yankee Coalition Band graced the stage of the Alpine Inn in beautiful downtown Woodboro, Wisconsin. And for that I say, thank you very nice.
All right, Tuck, I already told a couple of stories about you today, but this is a shot of Jose Cuervo. It's the worst thing ever. I don't want it. But the last time I had one was with you, and I miss you, buddy. So, here's the Tuck, and keep wasting air, buddy. Oh, that's awful.
Hi, Roberta here, Bert for short. The first time I met Tuck, I believe he was about 17 years old, and I was cocktail waitressing at the Claridge Motor Inn, downtown Rhinelander, and he was playing in the cocktail lounge. So that's been a long time ago, 40 some years ago. I think it was 1978. It's been a pleasure knowing you all these years, Tuck, and enjoying your music. Miss seeing you. Can't wait to see this Tuckumentary. Love you.
Well, hello, Tuckheads. I guess I'll put myself in front of a camera and say a few words. First, I'll have to open my favorite beer. An acquired taste over the years of drinking bad beers at bars. Cheers. It all started with this lady right here, Lisa Pavel. She's now Lisa Brown. She lives up in Bayfield, actually Washburn, Wisconsin. And me, and my friend Gail, who lives in Manitowoc now. But long about 1995, we were all teaching at a little Catholic high school to go see Point, Wisconsin live bands or live acoustic players or whatnot. And so she, in fall of 95, found out or knew about this acoustic guitar player named Tuck Pence, who played at Partners, I think every week when we first started going. And then it became every other week. So we started going Thursday nights. It was kind of ladies' night out. Didn't go out with the guys or anything. And my two lady friends dancing. So much so that my friend Gail and Lisa and I were called the June Taylor Dancers by Tuck after a while. And after a year or so, I acquired my first Tuckhead shirt, which is what I'm wearing. It's pretty mangled, but it's there. And on the back, if you note, his tour schedule included Partners and Point and Players in Wausau and a private gig, a couple sold out shows, whatnot. And I think this was the last shirt they had for sale, so luckily it fit me, but it's not in the best of shape. So we began going every Thursday, ladies' night out. It was a fun time. Stayed up pretty late some nights. Gail and I shared birthday in the month of May, so there was always one of the Thursdays in May when we would go out and stay out. So that was a fun game to play. I can remember at the shows, I always thought that Tuck was so focused on his music that he would not possibly see what we were doing out there in audience land, but he always did. He always saw what we did, and if we did something boneheaded, he would bring it to attention in between songs. Or it became an unwritten rule you couldn't leave in the middle of a Tuck song, or he would get mad at you and he would say something to you after you were gone. But if you left between songs and had time to say goodbye to him, he would try to convince you to stay. So you were damned if you did and damned if you didn't. Of course, it's been more difficult. So that was pretty fun, with illness and whatnot. But I'm glad he was able to do a couple of Facebook Live, YouTube events. It felt just like, being back there listening to him again. Definitely like the originals. Hopefully you can keep her going as long as possible. And good luck and God bless to you and the fam.
$10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, somebody recorded one of your songs, you'd be doing bank. And now, the only way you can make money is touring.
Hi, I'm Scott Kirby, and I've been playing music with Tuck Pence for about 15 years now. I started with him back in 2005 at the Thirsty Whale in Minocqua. And, to be honest, it took me probably about 4 months to muster up the courage to go join him on stage. See, it's not that I didn't want to, it's just that I didn't want to screw it up. I had heard of Tuck Pence for a bunch of years. I had swiped my parents' copy of Heritage from their collection and put it in my collection, listened to it a bunch. And my first guitar lesson, oddly enough, was from Tuck's dad, Bud. His mom, Laurel, and my dad worked together at an office building in downtown Rhinelander. And when I was in 6th grade, I got bit by the guitar bug, and my grandfather sent up his guitar for me to learn on. And my dad and Laurel must have gotten together and talked to Bud, and he agreed to start giving me lessons. Well, I took one lesson from Bud, and a short time later broke my pinky finger outside the school there. Derailed the entire operation. So, yeah, unfortunately, I never got to have another lesson with Bud. But, yeah, like I said, oddly enough, years later, here I am, playing with Tuck on stage and in the recording studio, and, you know, going to festivals, and I just never would have imagined that all that would have happened. But I'm so grateful for all the support that Tuck's given me over the years. You know, giving me work to back him up, to accompany him. Given me so much insight on songwriting and performing music, and you know, where to begin, where does it end? There's a whole lot that I could say about the old man. Well, but what does it all boil down to? Cripes. I feel like I'm like one of the luckiest kids getting to play music with that guy, and I love him so much, and I'm just extremely grateful for every opportunity I get to see him make music. Love you, Tuck. Thanks very much.
I've been living in the cities for about 3-4 months. I went there specifically to get the hell out of here and hide out for a while because I was not doing well mentally. And I played a few shows over there. I played the Friday night show, and then Saturday I went out and took my shotgun out and I was bird hunting. And I'm walking around in the woods, and that's when I wrote the Pine Tree song. Scribbled it down on a receipt, and I still play it the exact same way today.
I owe a lot to the old man, and I'm very grateful for everything that he's shown me and ever done for me. Well, the bright lights of the city made me stop and stare. It's quite a sight for a country boy who never been nowhere. Fancy cars and ladies were a sight to see. It didn't take too long to know it wasn't the place for me. See, I need pine trees growing, reaching for the skies. I need streams flowing, eagles on the fly, needing miles and miles of lakes and streams. No man calls his own. That's what I call home. That's what I call home. Folks back there, they told me I should get away. Said there's money in the city for a boy who can sing and play. They were right about the money, but I just can't find anything or anyone give me peace of mind.
See, I need pine trees growing, reaching for the skies. I need streams flowing, eagles on the fly. Need miles and miles of lakes and streams no man calls his own. That's what I call home. That's what I call home. They all liked my music, well, I guess it made them smile. Money and the laughter couldn't make it worth my while. So when my nights are over, I'm still all alone, middle of a city, almost 2 million strong. See, I need pine trees growing, reaching for the skies. I need streams flowing, eagles on the fly. I need miles and miles of lakes and streams no man calls his own. That's what I call home. That's what I call home. That's what I call home. It's where I play my song. Love you, Tuck. Thanks so much, man. If you can, help them out, it'd be a great time to do that. Send out some donations to that digital tip jar and to that GoFundMe campaign there. Thank you. Thank you very nice. This is one called For the Love of a Song.
All right, two. Hold on, James, you got it?
Wait, what? Is it the red button?
Red button. Can you do this in if you hold it the other way?
We're live.
Right now?
Yeah.
The band that stays together, ends together. Yeah, no.
That was so long ago that Christ the Lord was a mere child. He hadn't even been potty trained yet.
I remember when... Where is it?
The band that ends together, stays together.
That was awful.
Hey, Dad, what you been doing? Smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, and watching the girlies go by.
Better to be seen than viewed.
One night at Jack Pine, after Tuck played with the kids, as he put it, from Soul Asylum, he was heard to say, "That's the coolest thing I'd ever done on stage," when the bar was open.
The band that ends together, stays together.
Oh my God, you guys did it.